Hello and welcome back to guitar. This is week 3, and as you can maybe see behind me here, I'm not at home. I am actually back in the branch. We're excited to be back, and I'll be doing them probably in this backdrop for the next few lessons. So let's just jump right into it and start with some exercises. So we introduced exercise 1 last week, and that's where we do our 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, right, just going to look like this. Nice and simple, right? This is a good exercise to get us going. Okay, and again, all the way through, if we follow along exercise 1, it's going to sound like this. So, that's just a nice, easy way to get our fingers moving. And again, my fingers are fairly big, so I can put one finger on each fret. We talked about it last week. If you have to, don't be afraid to tilt your wrist a little bit to really help that pinky get back there. Because if your hands are smaller, right, I can go 1, 2, 3. That pinky sometimes can be hard to get. So you'll see my wrist kind of take a little bit of a turn when I'm here. 1, 2, 3, and then I turn. You can see my wrist really just turns right at the end, so I can stretch and get that pinky. Practice that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you can see that twist, and then 4, 3, 2, and my wrist drops back down. And then as we just go along, I just keep my fingers in line with that string. Okay, so that's exercise 1. Exercise 2. Okay. Oh, I got my screen kind of messed up. Exercise 2. We're actually going to start on the 6th string. And this is just going to be the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, but we're just going to walk all the way up. And we're not going to come back down. Okay, so it's going to sound like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if we want, we can go back down the other way and go 4, 3, 2, 1 on each of the strings. That's not written on here, but just play it backwards. So it would be... Okay, but again, these are really good exercises to familiarize your fingers when you're about to start playing on where they need to be on the fretboard. Okay, so those are our exercises to get us going. Again, don't be afraid to give a little stretch before. You know, this is a really good stretch to get those fingers going, right? Just kind of hold it for a bit. You know, you can get that bend going a little bit, really flex those fingers, okay? And that's going to help us really reach our notes. All right, so let's go back and do a quick review of the strings. I'm not going to go over the songs we learned in week 1. I'm trusting you've played those a lot by now, but we will just review briefly our first string, okay? So our first string, okay, is again, our first 2 strings actually are both an open, a 1, and a 3. So that first string again is our E, 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 F, 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 G, 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 G. Okay, nice and easy. Second string, okay, is going to be our B. So we have B, 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 C, 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 D, 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 D. Okay, nice and quick review there. All right, so those are your first 2 strings that we're going to familiarize ourselves with. As we scroll down to our next page here for the 3rd and 4th string, this is where we kind of left off last week, was the 3rd and 4th string, okay? So we're going to start with our G now, okay? Now there's only 2 notes on the 3rd string that we really focus on. So we have our G is open, right? And our A. Okay, just a nice simple back and forth. And again, you can see for that second finger, for the 2nd fret, I'm using my 2nd finger. Okay, that's my middle one. For the first and 2nd strings, I was using my 1st and my 3rd fingers. So again, really try and emphasize which finger belongs to which fret. Okay, there's other times where we might have to dance around and change stuff up, but we'll get to that. That's probably when we get to chords, which should maybe be next week. We'll see. Okay, 4th string. So that's going to start on our D, okay? So we have then our E, and finally our F. And those are your 3 basic notes on the 4th string. Okay, so that's our quick review of the first 4 strings and the notes that we've learned on them. The notes we'll be using most. So let's review real quick Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And I believe we learned Happy Birthday last week as well. So we'll review those 2, and then I'll introduce you to 2 new songs, okay, that are on the same page as Happy Birthday. So Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, okay? So starting on our open G. And you'll notice already my fingers are here because we talked last week about looking ahead on the page and seeing what comes next. Well, I know the next note is that third fret on the 2nd string. So I can already get my finger ready to play that. Okay? So here we go. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Okay, so again, this song's nicely broken down in our bars, so you can see, you can really focus on which section. And again, there's a couple duplicates in there, which makes it a little easier. So pause this video, play it back again as your review, and then we'll move on to the next song, okay? So we're gonna go Happy Birthday, and if someone had a birthday in the last week, happy birthday to you. I hope you played this song for yourself, okay? Again, we're going to start on that 3rd open, okay? And again, I check where I'm starting all the time as well. Don't be afraid to look and cheat, and again, play at your own pace. So Happy Birthday, here we go. Okay, now again, we talked about this last week. Some of those spots, I speed up. It's not just a simple tap, 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 right? Because when you sing the song in your head, you go, oh yeah, this part's played a little faster. So don't be afraid, once you get used to the notes and where you have to put your finger, to speed it up and try and play it to the speed that you might sing the song for someone. And that goes for any of these songs. Again, they're also on YouTube. Don't be afraid to play a song on one side of your page and then have the document up on the other side and play along. And you can play along with me as well, okay? So, we're going to learn a new song now. Next song is called Amazing Grace. Your parents would probably know this song, or if you are an adult, you probably know this song, okay? Now, with this one, there's a lot of opens, okay? Which sometimes can be easier, sometimes can be trickier. It's easier on one hand because you don't have to put your fingers on any frets to pay attention, but it's a little trickier because you really have to focus on where you are strumming, right? So the first little bit here, it's only a 1-line song, nice and easy. We're going to start on the 4th string this time. So our first time playing a song using the 4th string, so really watch where you're starting, okay? This song also has a lot of holds. I'll try and play this to a beat as well as I can, okay? So. Okay, so compared to the other stuff we've played, it's a much slower song. As you can see, I only had to put my fingers down for a couple notes, but they were always ready, right? So even though it's a lot of open, my fingers were always here and ready to go. So with this song, like we said, really pay attention to your strumming. It's a good one to familiarize yourself with the note, with what string you're playing. Okay, so that first part, just walking down the strings, okay? It's okay to let notes ring as well. Sometimes when people play, they don't like to let the notes ring out, right? So ringing is when you get that nice, you can still hear that third string, okay? You can still hear that in the background of that when I move to the next one. That's okay. We want it to have that nice, flowing, pretty sound, right? This is supposed to be a sweet song. So let the notes ring out. We don't want to have, we don't want to play it with, right? It's very, when you play it like that, it's very like, there's no flow to the song. So if we want to learn how to play and get that nice, smooth, pretty sound, then you really got to focus on letting those notes ring out. You'll notice in a lot of the songs we play, we want those notes to ring out, just that little bit to make the song flow smoother, okay? So that's Amazing Grace. Okay, I played it through once for you already. Just go back to the start and you can play along with it, okay? The last one we're going to learn using after the third and fourth strings here is Yankee Doodle. Now, in complete contrast to Amazing Grace, this one's actually meant to be played faster, okay? And it's going to involve a lot of finger movements back and forth. I'll try to play it at a nice, easy pace to start, but then I'll play it through at the end at the speed that it's probably meant to be played, just to give you an idea and give you a goal as to where you can get to. So here's Yankee Doodle, okay? So. That sounded nice at the end, didn't it? So, we'll get to that end note, okay? But as you can see, there's a lot of back and forth between those first couple strings. So this is almost like a two-string song until we get towards the end, and then we start adding in. You'll notice there's a few spots, maybe not so much in the first line there, but in that second line that we played, okay? You'll really notice that, I was speeding up a little bit. And again, that's me maybe losing some counting on my side, but it is meant to be a faster song, okay? So really try to get your timing down and watch those back and forths. There's a lot of that, right? We have, what do I have there? So that can be hard for some people, okay? Because I'm going from a 3 to an open to a 1 to an open back to a 3. Okay, there's a lot of back and forth and your fingers moving. So this is a good song to really look ahead. So you can look at it and go like, okay, I have to go the 3, then the 1, then the 3, okay? It's a lot of back and forth, so really pay attention. Go at your own speed, okay? Now, when we get to the second line, it's a lot of the same, except now we're using the second and third strings. So it's... Okay, now that first part there is literally just like lifting off, lifting down, lifting off, lifting up, lifting on, lifting up, putting down, right? It's a lot of back and forth, so you got to pay attention to it. And we're bouncing between the second string, the third string, and even down at the fourth string there, because we get down and, right? We get to that at the end of that, on the second line, that first barred section, okay? So it's that... All right, so we really got to pay attention there that we're hitting that fourth string because we're not focusing on that fourth a lot. It's just a little teensy of a drop down, right? Now, the part at the end where we kind of caught some attention, I played 2 notes at once. So if you look over there, it's actually a 1 and a 0 stacked on top of each other. Okay, so this is kind of a really, really, really introduction to a chord. Okay, this is about as basic of a chord as we can get. So what this looks like, let's look at the bass note there. So it's a 1 on the 2nd fret. So if we don't look at that top note, the 0, okay, then the song would end. Okay? And that sounds perfectly fine. That's the ending we want to hear. We add a little, I don't know, we'll call it pizzazz and flair to it, right? By adding that 0. So we play them at the same time. So when I strum, okay, normally I would just play that. I'm actually going to strum all the way down. So I put my pick on top of the 2nd string and I strum both strings. Okay, now what we want to avoid, there's 2 major things we want to avoid here, okay? Sorry, just a little itch on my chin. There's 2 major things we want to avoid. The first is muting that open string, okay? So this is why when we're learning, we really want to make sure we're cranking that wrist up and over, and you can see that's what my finger's bent like. I'll try and angle it towards the camera a bit here so that you can see I'm really cranking my finger over, okay? And what that means is that I'm not muting. A good way to test this is honestly just put your finger down on that second string 1st fret. Play that. Okay? And this is how we're going to learn chords as well. Is we want to play each note that's involved and make sure it's not muffled or muted. Okay? I'll use the term muted. Okay? And muted just means there's no vibration. Okay? It means it's not a clean vibration, because when we're playing guitar, that's all we're doing is we're creating vibrations, and when we shorten the string, we shorten the length of the vibration, we get a higher sound, okay? So we don't want to mute that, okay? We want to keep it open. So as you can see, my finger is right there. It's not on the 1st fret, it's on the 2nd fret, or 2nd string, sorry. And then I play the open. So those are the 2 notes we need, so then just play them together. Okay? Now, I'm going to play it once more through at the speed that that the song should probably be played at. Okay? Consider this a goal, okay? Because this is a tough one. Ready? Much faster, and even then I had to take a second in there as well, but consider that a goal, okay? Work hard, that's a good one to try and learn, okay? So now we're going to learn the 5th and 6th string, and then after that we've learned everything. We've learned all the strings. So 5th string, okay? 3 notes as well. It's the same setup as the 4th string. So we're going to have our A, okay, and again, we're really making sure we're on that 5th string now. Again, 5th, it seems backwards, I know. Remember, we count down, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so 5th string is our A. Okay, next is going to be our B, and that's going to be on the 2nd fret. So again, we're using our middle finger there, that one, and we're pushing down on that. Again, these, now, they're thicker strings. So the amount of pressure you put on the 1st string 2nd fret is not going to probably be enough for the pressure to push on these ones. So make sure you're really pushing hard. And then, I mean, as you can see, I got some pretty thick lines from pushing these ones. Okay? So that's our B. So, okay, and then we have our C. All right, so all the way through, we have our A, B, 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 C, 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 C. Okay? On to the 6th string now. Now, you'll notice, if you remember from the beginning when we did our tuning, this one is also E when we're open. These are the same, they're harmonized. So you can hear they're the same note, just one's higher, one's lower, okay? So we're gonna play the 6th string as we did the 1st, which is the 1st and the 3rd fret. So this is an E, is an F, and this is a G. And as we said, it's the same as the first. Should be easy to remember, okay? So all the way through we have E, 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 F, 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 G, 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 G. There we go. Now, we are going to learn a couple theme songs to finish off this week, okay? So any of you who are Marvel fans or Star Wars fans will enjoy these two songs, okay? So the first one is the SpiderMan theme song. So this one's, I don't think you'll hear it in any of the new Spider-Mans, but the old cartoons used to have it. So this one is going to use mainly the 5th and 4th string, okay? So a couple strings we've just learned. And then the Darth Vader theme song will just use the 6th and 5th. So Spider-Man is going to go. Now, for those of you who maybe don't know the song, go ahead and YouTube. It's pretty fun. You know, it's Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can, right? Actually, if you've ever seen the Simpsons movie, it's the song that Spider Pig, Homer's singing it while he's walking the pig tracks on the ceiling. So if you know that one better, you can go Spider Pig, you know. So this one is pretty straightforward. We're combining a few faster spots, right? But all in all, you can keep a pretty steady beat, okay? So I'm gonna play it through one more time. So we have, it's an odd hold there. It's not your standard 1, 2, because they're almost played as a trifecta together. So we have 1, 2, 3, or sorry, open 3, 2, right? And then we go 1, 3, 0. So they're almost played as two fast sections divided by a hold. And then we kind of break that trend and we instead of holding, we add some notes so that it's, and then this is our 2, 3, 2. So how you want to do this, you'll notice my middle finger doesn't lift. So, okay, so try that, putting your middle finger on the 2 and then just playing back and forth. So the 2, put the 3 on, take the 3 off, and then walk it back. Okay, so that's a good way to try that. This is something that you can learn to play fast notes. Right? I don't expect you to do that yet, but mess around with it. It's going to help you get better. Okay, so 2, 3, 2, keep that middle finger on. It's going to be able to play it faster. And the rest of the song's fairly straightforward. Okay, so that's Spider-Man. So I'll play it for you at a speed that's a little more up to speed of what you should play it at. And then we'll move to Darth Vader, and that'll be it for this week. Okay, so. So you can see it's played at a lot more of an upbeat pace. Again, a goal to try and hit. Start at your own pace. Really try to break it into those. Okay, this is 3 notes with a hold, 3 notes and a hold. Okay? Try to get in that mindset for this Spider-Man song. And then, like I said, lastly this week, we're going to finish with Darth Vader. So you Star Wars fans should know this one. This isn't the full Darth Vader's theme song. I'm pretty sure you can find it online. This is just that main riff, okay? Now, this is also the first time that we're introducing the 6th and something beyond the 4th fret. So what I'm going to ask you to do for this song is to actually position your fingers, and this is something I'll introduce in the next lesson, okay, is positions. So right now we're playing in the 1st position, okay? What that means is that my pointer finger here is starting in the 1st fret, 1st position. For this song, we're actually going to want to play out of the 2nd position. So what that means is that we're not actually going to be using the 1st fret at all. We have an open, but that doesn't involve us using our first fret. So now, this is how my fingers line up. First position, our fingers line up over the first fret, first, second, third, fourth. In second position, our fingers actually line up over the 2, 3, 5, or 2, 3, 4, 5, sorry. So when I play this one, my ring finger is now the 4 instead of my pinky. So let's try this. So you'll see we're going to start off. Now my pointer finger is going to hit on the 2, and then back to the ring finger. Now this is a tricky part. So normally I would say you can use your pinky to get to that 6th. Now you can see I have big hands, and that's a stretch because we're going from this 4 to the 6. I would recommend you try and use your ring finger, your third finger on this. So we're going to have that. This is a tricky song in moving our fingers. Okay, now to jump from that, there's 2 ways you can go about it. So when I play this at full speed, let's see what I do, okay? Okay, so what I do is, since there's a hold on that 4, right? Since there's a hold on that 4, it gives me time to mentally prepare to say, I need to go to the 6th fret. Now, these dots come in handy. That's 5, that's 7. Where's 6? Right in between, okay? So we go from that 4, from that first section there, that first section we have, okay? And we're gonna go 4, and then we're gonna jump into the 6th. You can have a pause. It's okay. 4, little pause in the music, go right to the 6th. Now we put our pinky on the 7th. Again, check for that dot to make sure you're on the 7th. Now comes the big jump. So now we have to move our pointer finger all the way to the 2nd fret. Okay? And it doesn't have to be super fast. I try to play it quick, but you don't have to. So when we do this, it's going to look like this. So you see, I go from the pinky and then I have to move. This is one of those things where you need to look at where you're playing next. Okay, so we're here. I know the 2 is coming next, so I can look at that 2nd fret. It's all on the same string, so it's easy. And then you go. But you got to have that 3rd finger on the middle finger now ready to go. And again, looking ahead is going to pay off. So 2, 3, and then just that standard. Okay? I'll play it through full, and that's going to be it. And then lots to practice, and then hopefully next week we can introduce some basic chords, and I'm going to cover that positions a bit more with some scales you can do. So, Darth Vader theme, last time. And that's it. Again, if you want to learn more of that one, take a look online, or you can always message me and I'll send you some more tabs, okay? So practice hard, and we will see you in a couple weeks, okay? Thanks a lot, everybody. Bye.